So you're gonna have to excuse the shaky kind of content today because I'm using the Viltrox 23mm f1.4, which is not stabilized, with my Sony a6400, which is not stabilized, but it still looks pretty good. And look where I am. See that? That is a drive-in movie theater. And I am up here in Hyde Park, New York, which is just north of where I moved. And I drove by here and I was like, I had to stop because I haven't seen a drive-in movie theater in a long time. You know, in this area, they pretty much shut down everywhere. I think out west, they still have them quite a bit, but not around here. So anyway, the reason I thought about it is because I finally finished my film. So the center of distance is mixed and ready to go. Nobody's going to be able to see it, you know, in the general public for a while because I'm going to be, you know, putting in, you know, submitting to festivals and stuff like that. And, you know, I'm going to do some private screenings for my collaborators and stuff like that. But I'm just so excited that it's done. So I'm looking for spaces to do these private screenings. And I want to do one in the city because it's where I've lived my whole life. And I want to do one up here, my new home. And I want to do one down in Asbury Park, New Jersey, which is kind of like my home away from home, where I've been treated so incredibly well and graciously and welcomed like one of their own since I got there. I lived there for 3 years. And so I drove by here and I was like, maybe it would look good on that big ass screen right there. So I don't know, maybe that's crazy, but I kind of like the thought of people being in the same room together and experiencing the energy as a group. But this is kind of a possibility. I'd like to see it up on that big screen, so I'm going to investigate. I don't know if this place is still alive. I mean, there's definitely not going to be any concessions or anything like that. It looks like all that's shut down, this building behind me. But it's a big, beautiful space, and it's up here by the Eleanor Roosevelt Park, the Vanderbilt mansion up here. It's a really historic place, Hyde Park. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful, right on the Hudson River. There's a lot of wineries up here and stuff like that. So anyway, I say anyway a lot, right? Yeah. So anyway, I finished this film and I'm so excited about it because I've been working on it for almost 2 years, like the entire pandemic. So like 20 months. And I mean, when I finished, I felt really emotional about it because I feel like it's documenting this time. You know what I mean? Like, it feels good. It feels like the pandemic. I mean, it's a story that really has nothing to do with the pandemic, but it's definitely documenting this time. And it documents the neighborhood that I just left in the Bronx, in New York City, which I dearly love, and I wanted to document that time that I lived there, and I wanted to document this time that we all lived through during this COVID-19 pandemic. My film is actually, it's called The Center of Distance, which I think I already said, and it's based on a play that was supposed to open of mine in June of 2020. So obviously that got canceled, called The Red Plaid Suitcase. And originally I was trying to make a film on that script, you know, my theatrical script, but it wasn't working at all. So I wound up writing a completely different screenplay, and it became a completely different story unto itself. Very, very unique, has nothing to do with the play now. It's just based on the same story. And that's exciting for me too, because now I have a play that'll have its own life, and I have a film that'll have its own life. And I completed a project during this time, and see, that's the thing. I'm really, really excited to see the art that has been created during this pandemic. You know, like, oh shit, I just realized that this might be out of focus. I don't know, maybe not. I'll check it. So I'm really excited to see what kind of art was created during this pandemic, because I think it was a very difficult time, at a time that could either have shut you down or really inspired you to write and create and want to share. So, or maybe somewhere in the middle, you know, I don't know. I know YouTube was still rocking during the time because I was like in school on YouTube practically, learning so much. So I'm really curious about that. So anyway, I just wanted to share this space today. I wanted to show up on YouTube today. I haven't been here for quite a while since I moved. If this is jumping in and out of focus, it's because this Viltrox autofocus kind of sucks. Usually I set it to manual focus when I do this, so I might have to redo this whole thing. So anyway, yeah, maybe I'll do a screening on this big drive-in theater. What have you been doing? Do you have stuff to share that you did during the pandemic? How are you feeling? Have you experienced a ton of loss during the pandemic? I have. Have you gotten through it okay? Are you feeling like you landed in a good place now? I'm curious about all those things. I'm thinking that things are never going to be the same that they were before the pandemic. And I know in the theater world, they're definitely not going to be the same, especially solo theater, which is kind of not as big a version as Broadway or anything like that. But it's still pretty big sometimes, and it's not going to be the same. So I'm just kind of curious what's going to happen. So anyway, I'm not going to make this a long video today. I just wanted to stop here and say that I'm really looking forward to showing this film on big screens, and I actually have high hopes for this project that started as something just simply for me to do during the pandemic when I was in a deep, dark depression. And it became a big project, and it was all because of my collaborators. They inspired me. They agreed to give me some incredibly high-level work, some really, really high art to add to my project, and it made me kind of come out of my funk and want to honor their work with the best work that I could do. So I'll tell you right now, the film is definitely going to also document a time where I had absolutely no idea what I was doing in terms of filmmaking. I didn't know what aperture meant, I didn't know ISO, I didn't know white balance, I didn't know anything, But I shot the whole thing with my phone, and I shot everything in manual mode, so I didn't even keep it in auto. I mean, I really, really tried to learn. And so I could have reshot a lot of stuff with the knowledge that I have now, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to document this time, where I was during this time in my life. And I wanted to document it honestly. So I think the story resonates. I think you will feel it. I know I do, and now I've watched it like 27 trillion times, and I still get very emotional when I watch it. So I hope it resonates with you, and I hope when the time comes you'll watch it and enjoy it and share it with a lot of people. And I hope that you'll share what you've done during this time, because I'm really looking forward to seeing that. And I hope that you're well. Hope everybody you love is well, and if not, my heart extended to you. I know it's been an incredibly, incredibly difficult time, and it continues. And I hope that we all come together, lift each other up, not break each other down ever. There's no reason to do that. There's no reason to criticize people in a way that just tears them to shreds and make them question whether or not they want to continue to do whatever they're doing. I think we're here to support one another and to lift one another and to be positive with one another. That's what it's about. That's what community is about, and that's what this world needs to be about. So it's all about empathy. So be kind. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on the next one, and I'm going to get out of here now. All right. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Peace.